Hello folks, my name is Dave. I'm one half of newer Speedcraft, and we've got a car, one of the first time builds for us that we built for a customer, Ron, in Toledo, Ohio. Now, this car differs a little bit from our standard T-bucket in the fact that we call this the Fat Rat, and the difference on this primarily being the length and the width of the body. Ron's a big guy, 6+ feet tall, 280 pounds, big boy, and he said he wanted to get off of a motorcycle because of knees and inability maybe to deal with that and get into something that had that feel, that fun, wind in your face, but was a little easier to deal with. So he came to us and he said, I like T-buckets, but can one be made big enough for me? And we said, Ron, absolutely, we'll take care of it. Let's talk about a Ford Motor Company T-bucket. A real T-bucket is 42 inches wide in its widest part across car to car, and from the firewall to the rear wall they're 49. So a standard T-bucket, Ford Motor Company manufactured, 42 wide and 49 long. Now the standard T-bucket fiberglass T that we build is 45 wide, an additional 3 inches than a standard, and it's 53 inches long. So it's 4 inches longer than a standard. So our standard T-bucket is a morphed Ford Motor Model T, and as I was saying, we are 3 inches wider and 4 inches longer, which already makes it a pretty roomy car. This one is even additional length and width. This car is 47.5 inches across, so we added 2 inches to the width, and then this is 59 inches long rather than 53, our standard, or 49 inches, the Ford Motor Real T. So you have, from a standard Ford T, 10 inches more in length. Now if you take a look at the rear seat area, this seat is in a normal driving position, and you can see the distance to the rear of the body. A lot of room in this car, very roomy. You get in here, and if you set this thing all the way back, if you were 6'7", you'd probably be reaching the pedals very comfortably. Now, other than that, this represents one of our turnkey cars, and the front suspension is what we typically use. It's a 1940 Ford, actually it's a 37 through 41 Ford I-beam axle. We take these axles, we customize them a little bit by drilling holes in them for the appearance. We check them for twist and alignment. If they're good, that then becomes a usable product. We use 11-inch disc brakes with GM Camaro F-body calipers. It's a large sliding caliper, and the spring is one that we chose for the weight of this car. And this is our standard frame configuration steering that everything on our website looks like. Also identical to what you would get in a kit. If you buy a kit from us, this is the same thing you're going to get. Now this uses a 350 horsepower 350 Chevrolet. It's a crate engine. We are using crate engines on all of our turnkey cars. This has a 650 CFM Holley carburetor, new crate engine, brand new Holley carb, billet aluminum distributor. This is a full mechanical advanced distributor. This is a hot rod engine, and obviously dress-up components, the valve covers, the oil pan, etc. You get a 100 amp chrome alternator, brand new. You get a 2.5 horsepower mini starter, brand new. Everything's brand new in the engine, comes fully warranted. And the rest of the car, likewise, is brand new. Ron's car, besides being extra long, he also ordered the box option. This is a 30-inch box on the back here. Gives you a little room to carry stuff. A couple bag chairs can easily be put back here. You can put a cooler for your favorite beverage, or a soft bag or two if you're actually traveling with the car. And as always in a newer Speedcraft, you get a fully manual fuel gauge. All kidding aside, it really works. All you have to do is stick it in, pull it out, and it's better than trying to guess at what you're doing. We also offer fuel gauges, real ones if you want that, but most people opt to go with just the standard fuel stick. This car, besides the 350 horsepower 350 Chevrolet engine, has a 700 R4 transmission. 700 R4 is a 305 first gear, and then third is 1-to-1, and fourth gear is 0.76 to 1 overdriven. Additionally, this has a lockup torque converter, which will pull another 220 to 250 RPM out of the engine when it's running. And that torque converter is normally locked up mechanically, electrically by a computer system in a car. We use a mechanical switch. Once you're up to speed and you're into fourth gear, now that locks the converter, and that'll pull the other 250 RPM out of this thing. And obviously when you're coming down off speed and you start to slow the car down, if you don't disengage this, the converter will actually chug. You'll start feeling it, and it could eventually stall the engine because the converter is locked. So a quick on, a quick off, and you're good to go. Something else that's very interesting about this feature is if you're on the highway with this car and you want to pass and you have the converter locked, you can pass, but you pretty much are going to kind of stay in the converter overdrive mode. But if you unlock it and then go into acceleration, you'll upshift from 4 to third, which is the 0.76 to 1 to 1-to-1. You'll really come on hard, and then once you get around whatever you're getting around, flip the switch back on, and then you lock the converter again. It's really a pretty cool feature. It's a great transmission. This has a 342 to 1 rear axle ratio, and this car at 80 miles an hour out on the highway pulls around 2,000 RPM when the converter's locked. Now that's a really comfortable speed to drive highway at, and Tom and I have had this car up to over 115 already. Very, very drivable, very comfortable. And in the past, we've shown a lot of videos of our cars on the normal public roads where you go 30 to 45 miles an hour, but we don't really have any current videos of highway speed, highway feel for one of our cars. And a couple times we've talked to other people that have T-buckets and asked them what's their car like out on the highway, and a lot of them say, well, I really don't go out on the highway, or it's a real bare knuckle ride, you're hanging on. And part of that comes from the traditional architecture of a T-bucket compared to what we're doing. In a lot of traditional T-buckets, you get the feeling, sensation, and probably rightfully so, that you're sort of sitting on it rather than in it. The way a normal T-bucket is built, with the bodies channeled over the frames and then the seat package, you know, when you're sitting in the thing, it's pretty high on your side, at your waistline. Now when you get in this thing's up at your shoulders, so you obviously feel a little more comfortable. Also, obviously, our center of gravity is much lower than a traditional T-bucket, making just a better riding and driving vehicle generically, and certainly much superior at highway speed. So let me jump in the car and obviously safety belts. Great idea for any car. Requirement anyways, part of our package. Put the steering wheel back on. Just makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the car because you do kind of drop down into this. So what we're going to do from here is take this thing out onto the highway, take you for a ride, and show you what it's like to go 85 to 100 miles an hour in a newer Speedcraft Fat Rat T-bucket. I'll see you out there.